Hello guys, and welcome to my review of The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. The Woman in Black is a short novella that was written by Susan Hill in 1983. It follows a young solicitor by the name of Arthur Kipps, who is sent from London to a province in England called Crythan Griffin, where he has to attend the funeral of one of the oldest clients of the firm by the name of Mrs. Alice Drablow. He also has to go check her property, the Eelmarsh house, and go through all her paperwork and see what paperwork is relevant to bring back to London and try to sell the property and close all her affairs there. Despite dying at quite an old age, Mrs. Drablow has no family to attend her funeral or to try to attend to her affairs, so Mr. Kipps has to do all this by himself. He feels very sorry for her and wonders why that might be. When he arrives at Crythan Griffin, everyone is very reluctant to discuss Eelmarsh House and Mrs. Drablow or her family. All things start to complicate the moment he goes to attend her funeral and he sees a young woman in black that was staying a bit farther from everyone. The moment he mentions the young woman in black to all the other people in the town, everyone becomes very scared and terrified of talking about it. This book is very, very good. It's written very nicely and it's really, really spooky. I am not really easily scared by books. I am much more of a visual person and I get a lot more scared when I see things, but this book really got to scare me. It didn't scare me as I was reading it, but it was that kind of thing where I did have a few nightmares when I heard something in the room or when it was dark. I was thinking about it. I really enjoyed it. It's very atmospheric, it is very eerie, and it plays a lot on your senses. A lot of the scare scenes, nothing really happens, but there is a lot of creaking of the floor, of the doors, there's a lot of wind howling, there's screams, there's cries, and you don't really see anything. Like, nothing really happens before your eyes. There's a lot of sound, so it plays on your senses a lot, and I really, really love that. I think I would have really loved this if I listened to it as an audiobook. It would have been a lot more intense. Really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and that's mainly because the writing style, despite being very beautiful, felt at times quite sophisticated, very pompous at times, and the sentences were very long, and I kind of felt it was a bit hard to follow sometimes. I had to reread the sentences. So despite the visual imagery being really beautiful, sometimes the writing made me wish it was a bit different so I could have been more captured by it rather than trying to figure out what the words mean. Apart from that, this is a great horror read. It's really spooky, it's very intense, and the story in it, despite being very horrific, it's also very sad. It's really, really beautiful. If you guys are looking for a Halloween read that's short and effective in being scary, this is definitely one that you should pick up this year. This was also made into a movie in 2012 starring Daniel Radcliffe as Arthur Kipps. I think there's also another movie that was made in the 80s. I haven't watched that one, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the movie from 2012. I mentioned in my previous TBR video that I watched the movie and I was very impressed with it. And Estelle from Odamenta, I hope I'm saying that correctly, mentioned in the comments how she really liked it and wondering why I didn't like it. I was already planning on giving the movie another chance after the novella. And after that comment, I really definitely wanted to check the movie out again. And basically there is one big lesson to be learned from my experience with The Woman in Black. And that is, never ever watch horror movies on an airplane ride. Beside the fact that I watched it on a super small screen and it was so hard to make out the words because the stewardess kept asking me if I wanted drinks, so obviously there was no eerie atmosphere there. I also realized that I fell asleep for about 45 minutes of the movie, and they happened to be the best 45 minutes of the movie. So it was quite easily explainable why I was not impressed with it the first time. The second time I watched it a couple of days ago, I actually gasped and I even screamed one time, and I don't really easily scream. I am a sucker for jump scares, and this movie has a lot of jump scares. Arthur Kipps's time spent at Eelmarsh House is very eerie because he is alone, and every noise he hears, even if it's nothing to be afraid of, is heightened by the fact that he's alone and he doesn't know what's going on. The first half of the movie, I thought it was really nice. The movie is not really a faithful adaptation, so it is quite different from the book. In that it changes the story of Arthur Kipps some. I'm not going to say much about the way that it's changed, but it's changed from the very beginning. His family back in London and everything, that's very different to begin with. And then when he gets to Crichton Griffin, the way he interacts with everyone is very different. Towards the end, the movie tries to figure the big mystery and solve everything. Goes in the book, it's just a tale. I got more spooked watching the movie than reading the book, but the atmosphere in general, appreciated it more in the story, in the book, than I did in the movie. I'm definitely rectifying what I said in my TBR about the movie. It is rather enjoyable. I did enjoy the first half of it more than the second half though. I really enjoy the building up, and even though there were plenty, I really fell for most of the jump scares, and that was quite nicely done. Towards the end, it kind of lost a little bit of the flavor, but it was still a good movie overall. I would probably rate it between 3.5 to 4 out of 5 stars. So that is definitely a lot more than I would have given it after watching it on the plane and sleeping through half of it. So just remember, never do that. Seriously guys, never watch a horror movie on a plane. This was it for my Women in Black review. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you back with more videos soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.